Okay guys, welcome back. You are tuned into the STPL. I'm your host for this evening, and we are about to move into our final game of the evening. I know I advertised that there'd be DM, or we are DM versus White now, but there was going to be Ash versus Team 9 as well, but I only just got the replays, there's only 2 of them, and I need to find out from the teams who got the walkovers so I can cast that properly. I'll do that on Friday probably, in addition to all the other ones. So, well, we're going to move into our 4th and final game of the evening, which to be honest is going to help my voice a bit as well. White did take a 3-0 victory, but if you missed what I said before the break, every game in the STPL is casted if it counts, so don't play the ace match if they didn't go to the ace match, because I won't cast that. That's not going to be counted. You can play it for fun though if you want to, if you got time after your 4 games. But the 4 games are all played regardless, so they do get casted, and they also get counted towards the my brain is fried again, towards the overall results moving into the playoffs and eventually into the grand finals. They will be decided by the results of all the playoffs as well, so every single game counts for the teams. Thank you very much for the follow. I need to make sure I add the follow notification to the screen actually. I will certainly do that for the next cast to do, which will be on Friday, but let's not waste any more time. Let's actually introduce our next 2 players. I'm just very quickly setting up the final parts of the overlay. We've got matching colors again though, so luckily enough I don't have to do anything about that. That's really cool, but let's actually move on. Now, my overlay said, you know what, no, I can't fix it. Okay. We're going to have to wait, but the overlay is going to say that Gh0st is Zerg, but he's actually playing Protoss. That was a bug in my overlay, so I'll fix that for next time he plays. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's actually move on over to the players, let's introduce them, and let's get started with the 4th and final game of this evening. Okay, as you can see, for White in a 3-0 lead, he can take it 4-0, he can go for the clean sweep over DM. Now, of course, if you haven't seen these 2 teams face off before, that's because they were in different groups in round 1. White was in Group B, DM were in Group A. Did they meet in the... Yeah, they did meet in the playoffs. DM did lose to White Clan in the round 1 playoffs, and unfortunately they have lost again here. But they've certainly put up a good fight. We've had some very, very close games, and Gh0st especially could have actually brought that back there. He just had a little bit of a bad engagement in that last PvP. So we're going to be moving on to another PvP here. It's going to be between Gh0st and DM. Now, Gh0st did win his 1 game that he's played so far this round. He actually played that as Protoss, and that was on week 1. So I obviously, in going to Amsterdam, completely forgot to update the database in the meantime. But he did a very, very good job for his team there. And he is up against Tech, who is the ultimate ace player for DM. I've called him this. This is the nickname I've given him. And there's a reason for it, guys. He played in every single ace match for DM last round. They had a lot of them. And I think Tech actually played more games than anybody else in the entirety of round 1. And it did put him in a very strong second. I know he was 3rd place in the round 1 ranking. I know the round 1 ranking on the screen is wrong, but basically he was behind Koga and Famas. Behind Famas only because he had more losses. But he certainly did a very good job for his team. He's won 2 PvPs so far, and he did lose his week 1 game apparently. I don't remember who they played, but that seems a bit odd. But either way, he's going to put in a strong performance here as he always does, and he is going to be looking to do that as we move on to the 4th and final map of today. That's going to be Triathlon. Now, Triathlon was a map from the 2009 PD Pop MSL. There was some really great games on this map, and I'm hoping to see yet another one here. We've had some really good games in it so far in the STPL and the Clash for Char, and as you can see on the map, it's a little bit easier to see it here, but you see all the neutral eggs all over the place, blocking off the bases, even blocking off a gas in base natural. Workers can slide through that, but nothing else can, and they are cloaked by neutral arbiters. Now, as this is a melee map, just to confirm, you do not get the upgrades from the arbiter, but I'm fairly certain there was a UMS version of this map where you that was used in the MSL that you actually used to get the upgrades from the Arbiters as well. But as it's a melee map, we won't be seeing that, so mind control not as powerful this time. It was very powerful back in the day though, and let's see how both players are going to play out this game in our fourth and final game of today. Okay, so starting us off here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the Orange Protoss fighting for white, looking to take his team to a 4-0 victory. It's gonna be Gh0st. Now his opponent down here in the bottom right hand side, I called him it before, I'll call him it again. It's the ultimate ace player for DM. He appeared in every single ace match on round 1 for them. Unfortunately, there won't be an ace match here. He is going to be playing for pride here for his team. As they move on to Triathlon, it's going to be Tech. Now, just to answer a couple of questions I've had in the chat about my front door. Basically, this is a 120, I believe, year-old building. It's a listed building, so you can't change it either. So it's got an old-style bolt system as well as a new lock at the top. So that is why there's there's only 2 locks and like a hatch, but very hard to break into. Don't anybody try, please. Thank you. And I don't own anything, so it's all good. But yeah, that is why I do have a door. There was a meme going around in round 1. I know I'm probably going to incite the flames here by mentioning it again, but people said I lived in prison. So there was a weekend where Rapid and Cadenzi came and stayed at my house, and we did a trio cast. And I said they came over to prison and then they were on bail, which is why they left. So that's why I have a weird door. So yeah, there was a prison meme. That's where that came from, if you're wondering. But if you are joining us for the STPL for the first time, I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. I've been trying to do the best I can to push the production as much as humanly possible, and I'm going to look to improve anything I can. I'm looking to improve the organisation as well to make things a little bit easier for the teams, and also to make it easier to find out the previous results and things like that. If you can, the best way to support would be to hit that follow button and watch again. Of course, if you can subscribe, please do feel free. And the best way you can actually, I lie, forget everything I just said, I don't want to be a shill. The best way you can actually help the tournament is there is a code for Matcherino that I do not mention, and I don't mention enough. One of the sponsors of the tournament is Matcherino. I do need to make sure to mention them a hell of a lot more. They've given me a lot of codes so far, over $100 worth of codes. There's another 50, I believe, to use. The first code was STPL1. They were all used up in round 1. So please do go to the Matcherino page. That is linked in the chat by Nightbot. You can also do !Matcherino, I think it is, to make that appear again. That will basically allow you to enter the code and put in a $3 to the prize pool. Now, going back to the game and stopping shilling, we do have a gateway gas for both of them, but we do actually have Tech going for a very, very quick second base. Now, there you go. You can see the eggs are at work. The Zealot cannot get through, but the probe did. And there's actually a Zealot from Tech in the main of Gh0st right now, doing a very good job pulling some probes away from mining, getting one of the probes as well, and using that hidden probe to... Oh man, wait, did he kill his own probe, or was that a scouting probe? I'm not actually too sure, but either way, that's actually pretty incredible. Really, really nice usage of his early units by Tech, and of course, when this Nexus finishes, it's going to give him a very, very good advantage, as it's going to be very hard for Gh0st to actually move over here and really do anything until he gets some form of shuttle. And now back at home, Tech is going to add on his core, going to add on his second gateway, and this is before we see the gateway or the second gateway or a Nexus coming in from Gh0st. So really, really good usage of his early micro there by Tech. I mean, he's only at 190 APM, and he did a very good job multitasking there, so I want to give him props for that. It's not easy to make those kind of decisions, to go in with that kind of harassment, and Tech really showing how strong his PvP is really, really nice to see. I know if you are just tuning in as well, this is going to be the only series I cast today. The other series, Team 9 versus Ash, I need to find out the results of the walkovers. Ash were having a few problems getting players, and one of the Team 9 players didn't show up, so that was why I'm not going to cast that today. That will be as an addition to the Friday cast, which will be the same time in the same place. Hopefully I'll be joined by Rapid on Friday, so I'm not going to kill my voice, but I've been trying to take it a little bit easier today on myself. I had a hard day at work, so we do have the tech immediately coming up for Gh0st. This is why he didn't opt to go for that expansion, as he is immediately going into a support bay. And this is where the problem is going to come in. Now, just as I said, Gh0st is going to have trouble killing that probe, Tech is going to have a hard time getting through these eggs. Now, I believe the eggs have 150 health and an insane amount of armor as well. You see that a Dragoon been made immediately to kill off that Arbiter and try and break his way through. But the shuttle's done. The Reaver is going to be on the way as well after this Observer. And we do have shuttle speed coming in too. So the second shuttle speed kicks in, how is Tech going to be able to defend against this? Now, it's actually 200 health. They are taking 7 damage a time, so they do have like 13 armor, I believe it is, which is really insane. But it looks like Tech will in fact be able to get through in time, the Reaver not being built before the Observer, so that's really going to help him. Now, Gh0st isn't sure what his opponent's doing. He has not scouted him. There is absolutely no way he's going to know about this base. As you can see, he hasn't seen in the main whatsoever. And this is going to be the problem. Now, it looks like Gh0st is going to take this back base himself. We should see that Nexus coming up in a short little bit. As soon as that goes in, I'll try and check back on that. But we should have a Reaver on the way. Yes, we do. This shuttle is going to be able to move across and do some damage. But finally, the Dragoons break through, and they're going to be in here to defend. Now, there's a lot of units at his ramp. He doesn't really need to have them all here, but he doesn't really know what's going on now. Because Gh0st isn't sure what's happening, he's adding on a ring of pylons. Now, this isn't for any particular reason. It's mainly to spot for shuttles. He's actually going for his natural. The Reaver has been loaded up, so that's going to look to try and do some damage. But just one Reaver isn't really going to do too much against this, as long as Tech has good reactions. I mean, he's up 20 supply at this point. I just thought I'd point that out. In case you hadn't already noticed, he is going to be able to repel this shuttle. And Gh0st is very, very far behind. Tech's Tech, given his name, is actually quite far behind. He's going for a robotic support by himself. But this is where Gh0st is going to play greedy to try and come back into this. He's adding on his own third Nexus immediately. No third Nexus coming over yet from Tech, but he does have this probe here to get ready now. 2 Observers actually a little bit redundant, but he is going to be able to push back this Observer. And is this going to prompt him to go for this Nexus? He's obviously spending a lot of money on gateway units still. He's got 3 gateways pumping pure Dragoons. That's a lot of minerals to be using. And he's going to delay his shuttle, actually, to go for a Reaver. And there we go, the third Nexus immediately going up on 400 minerals. And the Observer, of course, been in, gone to see exactly what tech there is. And we're going to see minerals being spent to actually kill these. Now, you may think that this may not be worth it, but you can see it only takes 2 Scarabs to kill those. So it's a lot more efficient. It's not efficient, but it's a lot quicker to get through. Allows him to transfer units over there. Really needing. And just to point out, yes, they are neutral arbiters, so they are cloaking the neutral eggs. That is why they're sitting on top of them. It's a map feature. I don't believe it's ever been used on any other map, so this is certainly a one-off. Triathlon led some very, very good games. I believe it was only in the PD Pop MSL. I think it appeared again in one of the later MSLs, but was never used in an OSL, never used in Pro League. And honestly, it's one of my favourite 3-player maps, leads to some amazing games in all 6 matchups. And that's exactly why I put it in the tournament. And so far, in the STPL, we've certainly seen some interesting games. We have Tech with an incredible lead over his Protoss opponent here in Gh0st. Now, Gh0st does have this Nexus up. He's got it up a lot quicker. Looks like the shuttle's going to come back in. Can this do any damage? 2 Reavers dropping down. The Scarab, huge Scarab going down on the probes. And another big Scarab as well. A lot of Dragoons actually being taken down, but Reavers going down as well. But this is time for the counter-aggression. Looks like Gh0st is completely ready for this, though. Moves his unit into position. But Tech is still in a supply lead despite losing that many probes. I really want to see how many kills that Reaver has, because that was a lot of damage to be done early on. And immediately picking up the Reaver, picking up a Dragoon, we're going to have a shuttle-on-shuttle action here. We have actually quite good coverage on the map by Gh0st. Looks like Gh0st could be looking to take the other main. This is going to be up to Tech to scout this before this goes down. Now there is a shuttle and a Reaver to defend against a Reaver and two Zealots. But of course this Reaver is going to be able to get a good shot off. The probes have not been transferred, but the Reaver is not shooting. The Reaver's not shooting, and only getting 2 kills there. Not as many kills as he would have liked to get, but here we go. The Reaver's going for another shot. Wastes the Scarab on the Dragoon, but will clean that up. And the probes will be free reign now. He's actually taking down the cannon. Wants to make sure he can get the shuttle out again. We're going to have shuttle Reaver on shuttle Reaver action. No more units here to defend, but this could be a huge Scarab. Oh my god, that's going to be so close. Is it going to dud? Yes, it is! And a perfect pullback by Gh0st. Gh0st is pulling his way back into this game slowly but surely. He's even nearly on supply. And with 5 gateways, even with Tech, his army supply is going up and up. Actually, Tech has 8 gateways now. I miscounted. So that's where Tech's supply lead's coming from just the sheer number of units that he's able to bring out onto this map. Now, the Templar Archives is now coming up for Gh0st, but once again, the Tech advantage going to Tech. He's going to have the Storm done a lot earlier, and double Forge coming up for him now as well. He is going to start double upgrades and slowly try to pull his way into the lead, into the late game. His +1 attack going to be a little bit later, well, a little bit later as you would say, as Gh0st has actually got his 4th base coming up now. He's building it in the middle of the map. Quite dangerous. I'm kind of surprised he didn't try and hide this base, but maybe he feels like he's in a good position. Looks like I did miss a Reaver drop, only getting 1 Scarab off though, and only killing 2 probes. A lot of the probes being forced to transfer away though. And there we go, a Dragoon moving in. Gonna see that is coming in. He knows there's actually no units here defending, so he's pulled the shuttle around. This is actually a 2nd shuttle, this one heavily damaged. Needs to be careful. How much damage is this going to do? The Scarab getting bugged out once again. Not going to kill any probes. And a Scarab and a Reaver going down for effectively free there. But that is going to force Gh0st to keep a few more units in the base. As you can see from the top left or top right hand side of your screen, we do have an insane amount of supply for both players. They're both actually supply blocked on 131, 131, so neither of them can actually add on any more units. So I'm hoping this hasn't bugged. Oh no, it's definitely not bugged. They were just both supply blocked at the same time. But it looks like Tech is going to try and go for a 4th base of his own. Also taking this base in the middle. There's only 1,000 gas here though, and not as important as taking this base, but Tech, in his powerful ways, looks like he's going to go for a double expand, and it's going to be up to Gh0st to really try and do something against this. Now it sounded like something was being shot. I think an observer went down again. I didn't quite see anything else. Now I don't know if my chat is lagging or nobody's talking, but someone's saying I need to upgrade my brain, which feels like it's a response to this from a while ago. But hopefully everything's okay. My internet connection is usually fine, so we're up to 91 viewers now, so thanks all for tuning in. Now I can still hear, here we go, we actually had a storm drop going down. Looks like the probes were pulled away immediately, so not that much damage being done. The cannon's cleaning up everything as well. Sorry for missing that. But DT's out in the middle of the map as well for Gh0st, as Gh0st is going to try and take this main. Now this is a very, very important base. This base has 5k mineral, 5k gas even, and it does give him access to the natural, but Tech is ready for this. He's scouted for it, and he knows exactly what timing this base is going to come up. Now, what is his response going to be? Is he going to drop Zealots over here to clean this up? It looks like he's going to send a lot of Zealots with his base here, but this is so many pylons, so many cannons being added. And Tech looks like he wants to just brute force this down. He's going to elevate it into the main. There's only 2 cannons here at the moment. No units back here to defend. I think this DT may even be... oh no, the DT can get in. So this is going to be kind of annoying, but Gh0st is definitely trying to hold on with cannons. This is the most cannons I think I've ever seen in PvP. But 8 Zealots, unfortunately, unable to do anything against this DT. That DT worth its weight in gold. The Zealots going to try and dive on these cannons. Try to do as much damage as they can, try and stop any possible reinforcements. And a lot of Zealots being sent down here. Tech still on his 5 base, looks like his 5th base just about finished up. But this is such an important base for Gh0st to be able to take hold of. If he can hold on to this base, Tech is eventually going to lose the game. He's not going to be able to get as many gas bases. One of the quirks of a 3-player map is that, of course, this is going to be a big storm. Actually storming his own High Templar, not getting that many probes, unfortunately, and the Zealots being cleaned up as well. So Tech, for the first time in this game, is actually behind in supply. Losing those 8 Zealots, losing those units, going to be a problem, but as I said before, he is going to eventually have this upgrade advantage. +2 attack is coming in, but he's going to be up against 2-2 if he doesn't try and push in at some point. And there's a lot of Reavers with this army. That's 4 Reavers. That's a lot of splash damage. There's also a lot of High Templar here as well. Looks like Tech hasn't transferred any probes over here just yet, but he will need to do that shortly. Here we go, a lot being transferred over. Let's have a look at the minerals in the mains. Tech's main nearly dried up, same as Gh0st's. One of the big problems for Tech is he did take this base late or earlier, so this base is going to be a little bit healthier for him. Natural. Otherwise, though, for Gh0st is going to dry up a little bit faster, and here we go. Looks like we're going to have a big engagement in the middle. The Reaver's doing a lot of damage to Tech's army. It looks like the anti-timing for Tech, as Tech's 2-2 has not finished. Gh0st is on 2 attack at the moment, and Tech needs to be careful. He needs to take a good engagement here, or we could see the comeback of the century by Gh0st. A nice storm does go down on the back. Dragoons. Another nice storm as well. This is so much AoE damage going on from both players. Storms absolutely everywhere. It's really hard to take note of exactly what's going on in this fight, but it looks like Gh0st just has the superior army. The +2 attack doing so much damage, and Gh0st is surging ahead in supply. The cannons left at the 4th base are all that's left, and GG! And an incredible comeback. Gh0st wins with the 2 attack push before 2-2 finishes, and despite being behind in bases, behind in tech, Gh0st with the superior upgrades pushes his way through to take white to a 4-0 victory. And now I'm actually just going to take it back to the, not that screen, to me, as I'm going to bring up the results and everything and just get ready to close off the stream. So that was an insane PvP. I don't actually know how Gh0st came back and won that, if I'm going to be completely honest. Good Reaver Scarabs, I guess. He had good Storm as well. But Tech just getting caught a little bit out of position. I always feel like if he'd have pulled back to his cannons, he would have been in a better position. That's a little bit unfortunate for him. But that will take White to a 4-0 victory today. So a great job by them. They are going to be looking to that, looking to take themselves into the playoff finals again if they can. And a really well played series by White there. Let's actually bring it on over to the results screen, and we can have a look at exactly how those games panned out, and I can close out the stream from there. So let's move on over to the results. Okay, so as you can see, +1 win for White Clan, +1 loss for DM. Unfortunate for them, they put in a good series, but unfortunately they just weren't strong enough on the day. They had some very nail-biting, very close games though, and just a few little strategical mistakes did cost them the game. And Gh0 taking the winner, or Gh0 taking the name over PRL, FAMAS2 taking the game over Defiler, Sapporo taking the win over Xenosky on Troy, and Gh0st finally taking the win on Triathlon against Tech. Now, just to bring it back to the camera a second, and just to close off the stream, there would have been a second series today, Team 9 versus Ash, but unfortunately I didn't get the replays until just now. There was 3 walkovers in the series as well, so there were only 2 games to cast. So I said I'd do that on Friday. I don't have the today or the next matchup screen ready, so I can't really show that off. But basically, on Friday we will have the remaining games from round 2. Now, just to bring that up, from round 2, week 2. So we're going to have Team 9 versus Ash. Let me double check the other games because I don't want to get this wrong. I believe it was IRK versus Rev and Soul versus... No, it was Red versus Bull, I think. Let me just double check the thread, I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, so it's going to be on Friday, Bull versus Red, IRK versus Rev, and Ash versus Team 9. Once again, I thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I will be back on Friday, same time, same place, 2100 CEST. Hopefully I'll be joined by Rapid then as well, so I'll have a co-caster. Have a very good evening, a very good afternoon, a very good night, and a very good morning wherever you are in the world. And see you guys next time for STPL. And I hope you have a wonderful night. See you guys later. I'm going to find someone to host as well, so cheerio.